Dear soon-to-be graduates of the 57th Diploma course, Katalin Karikó, dear members of faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and also all those who join us virtually through the live stream. What a year. A graduation day is always a special moment because it's a very short moment between the past, something you experienced, and the future you will experience, but you're not sure. This year, it is even more so. This year, it's maybe good, I would say, to start by quoting something which I'm not asking you to follow, but I'm asking you simply to listen to. It was a theologian, Reinhold Niebuhr, who said about such a situation, he said, you need the courage to change what can be changed. You need to accept what cannot be changed. And you need the wisdom to distinguish the one from the other. That's the most difficult part of it. It is one of the great moments at the end of each academic year when I say my welcome to you, the students who will soon to graduate here in a few moments, to your family, friends, faculty, staff, sponsors, partners. And it's an honor to welcome you here as director of the Diplomatic Academy, Vienna School of International Studies, École des Hautes Études Internationales de Vienne. Also, as a graduate myself of the DLG number 17. My 2 years here as a student, 2 years here as a DLG student at the Diplomatic Academy, not because I needed more time than you do, please, at that time it was 2 years. They decisively formed my own professional life in numerous ways. I lived and experienced in this sort of exhilarating community of young people from all over the world and all corners of the earth. And it was here I required to learn how to succeed in my career. In my own capacity, it was a career in the Austrian diplomatic service. And this is what is part, and I hope you experience that, this is what is part of studying at the Diplomatic Academy means. It means living and working with people that have different backgrounds, different experiences, come from different countries, and have different thinking. And I experienced during your final presentations that you have different thinking on various issues. That's good. You are a very diverse group, 25 students from 10 countries, or maybe even more. In preparation, we were not sure whether it's 10 or 12, because some of you have more than one citizenship. That's an issue in Austria, you may have heard. It's not an issue here at the Diplomatic Academy, I can assure you. 15 female, 10 male, between 22 and 40 years old, and various previous studies. I'm happy to see that there are a number of historians, well, I like that, but also people from law, political science, art history, languages, communication, up to animal science and protection, tour guidance, bioresources management, and medicine. Here I look at Carmen Hagen, whose academic background proved to be a lifeline for your fellow students and for the DA. You have come to the DA in the right year. Thank you for that. And somehow you are also a special group because of the decision you took according to the name of your course, Katalin Karikó. the Hungarian-American biochemist who specialized in RNA medicated mechanisms. Already starting in 1990 with all of this. Tells you that you need some patience to be successful. And with her research, COVID vaccinations, as we all know, went a different way. It was possible to do a new thing. She had to overcome many challenges in her career, but she was persistent. And in the end, she proved that her groundwork was life-saving and changing the whole world. And her achievements were recognized. After all, they were recognized. As you know, she is the senior vice president of BioNTech. And so, if you made use of the DA's offer to get vaccinated, you have received her vaccine. Let's hope that her groundbreaking work for all the COVID vaccines and other medical use of mRNA-based therapies will earn her the Nobel Prize this year. I'm proud of you, in spite of the situation that we are going through, and we have been going through, that you finished your studies in time and in excellent ways. And I'm happy that we can be here today to celebrate your graduation. And it's easy to say we live in interesting times. We all like this sort of proverbial Chinese proverb, which nobody knows whether it's really Chinese and what it really means. You started your studies in the middle of the pandemic, and it has been a challenge to our ways of teaching, learning, and working. We all had to cope with the transition to online teaching and learning. We kept focusing our efforts on delivering the best possible teaching and learning environment. But I have to say, and that is something that concerns not only you, but actually all students around the globe, that it is a shame how politics worldwide treated universities and treated students. Students in universities were the last to get a recipe for how to deal with this situation. And I include in this sort of criticism, unfortunately, my own home country, Austria. Fitness centers and nightclubs are open, and universities are still closed. We are in a little bit better situation here at the DA, because, and I'm using this word again, like in the inauguration, because we are a small family. We can try to arrange things in a bit more individual way. We cannot do away with regulations. It wouldn't be safe, but we can try to use our small character and our international character to do something special for you. So I hope it was not all Zoom and gloom that you experienced here with us. But we are aware that it was one of the most difficult academic years ever. Not only because of the way courses had to be taught, but the lack of the usually vibrant atmosphere in the hallways, in the bars, studying together, celebrating together, traveling together, in short, living together was different. We tried our best to provide you with hybrid and in-person classes as soon as it was possible, and to the extent that it was safely possible. We would like to thank you for your cooperation, especially those, the course speakers and the volunteers who were in the COVID working committee, assessing the situation, sharing your concerns, advising and cooperating with the administration and making the best of it. In this, I guess, when you look back on all of it, you were also able to learn important skills for your future life. That includes the administration, that includes the faculty, but especially you, because now you are going to shape what's going on in this world. You have been able to experience how to cope with unexpected and difficult situations, to practice what we call emotional intelligence, and to adapt to new circumstances. We were amazed by the efforts you made to come here. Some of you had very special, difficult circumstances to overcome your visa problems, travel routes to Vienna, and somehow it was a bit like Ulysses might have lived through his own story. It showed us how important it was for you to study at the Diplomatic Academy, and we hope that we made your efforts worthwhile. I would also like to thank the DASI for all the efforts they put together, because this has been a key element, I would say. And now you're looking for new horizons. That's normal that if there is a new beginning, and it's often called in the American context a commencement ceremony that we are having here. Now you're looking for new horizons, and I know that the situation on the job market is not too promising right now, but I hope that we were able to provide you with the best perspectives possible at the moment. I hope you made an extensive use of the DA Link career services, the 20 seminars, workshops, 20 career talks, the DA Link Career Day. You know it better than I do. We were happy to make even a Q&A session with the human resources representatives from major corporations on a virtual platform. And I heard you had a lot of one-to-one career counselings. That's necessary in these days. During the last academic year, you learned a lot about disruptions. That's, in the academic life, that's part of an international studies school anyhow, to learn about disruptions in speed, economics, political studies, in all fields. Even in my own field, history, we tend to speak about conflicts and disruptions much more than anything else. But you lived through a real time disruption. And I'm glad to say that maybe this combination is again something special that not every year, hopefully, we'll experience. And in this year also, and I would like to stress this, you learn something which I think is always important. You can discuss all these topics now in English, German, and French. That is something special. I hope you feel the same after this year. And I would like to give a special thanks to our dedicated language departments. You were also active in the DASI, the Students' Initiative, and you practiced diplomacy in the DASI conference on a virtual basis about equality in progress, empowering women, much discussed, less contextualized. You had an impressive range of speakers and an impressive organization on site, and I especially liked your idea that there is a panel also on the role of man in empowering women. I listened to that carefully, and actually one of the alumni of the DA was one of the speakers. You wrote for your magazine Polemics, and you worked in almost 20 committees and societies. You even sang in the DA choir, or at least you did rehearsals, as far as I know. You played football, you trained in the Spanish Society, some of you played in a tennis tournament, recently I heard, and you cooperated with different institutions, which will be very important groundwork for your future. And I would like also to mention the new Queer at DA, which was a group which was very active during the whole year. SAGE was also actively cooperating with the Diplomatic Academy and the ombudspersons, and you recently even went back, I heard, to wine tasting. There are some events I heard that the director maybe shouldn't know about, all the details about at least, the DLG picnic, the birthday celebrations and things like that. But this is actually something that you are, in your case, is not different from former years, I have to tell you. During the last weeks, you also had the chance to attend events again. I would like only to mention the French Minister for European Affairs, the President of Kosovo, and two of you even challenged in a quite open discussion the Foreign Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm looking at the two of them. One I can see here, yeah. During the last year, we had also to adjust our conference program and do public events online. And we had an idea that had to do with you, and I think it was one of the best ideas we recently had at this place. We decided that you, the students, could moderate these public events online and practice some skills. And you did a brilliant job, simply. We will continue with this. Of course, I have to mention this. Maybe I shouldn't mention it. I'm looking at my assistant, I should put it out, cross it out. Of course, the COVID-19 situation caused also some collateral damage to your life here at the Diplomatic Academy. Above all, the study trips and the DA ball. And of course, the legendary Sommerfest, which should have taken place tomorrow. But I hope you will be at our next Sommerfest as DA alumni. But I have to say, I never would have thought that the best study trip you had in this year was to the main hall of the Foreign Ministry to get the vaccination. As you know, the DA can look back on a very long history, almost 270 years. And you are now part of this. You are now part of this long history of the Academy. I hope that you start feeling part of this community, of this truly international family of your alma mater. Those who haven't joined the Club DA, please do so, because this helps us to keep the contact with you. And you may have heard that in this network, people from more than 120 countries are taking part, helping, and part of this helping is also providing the students with the scholarships and grants that are needed. Almost 30% of our students receive some sort of financial support. So I would like to thank also all those who help us to make this possible, our sponsors, the Scholarship Fund of the DA, and our other partners like the Board of Trustees, embassies, international organizations. Of course, the city of Vienna is always very, very helpful in this. And I would like also to say I'm grateful to the faculty, because the faculty had to change as well throughout this year. From all sort of expecting to have a nice and calm year to immediately turning online, Zoom, thinking about how to make the interaction possible between you and the faculty, and how exams are also possible. So I would like to thank all the professors. I'd like to thank the postdocs, the visiting professors like our Fulbright professor, and the guest lecturers from around the globe. I think what's so important about our faculty is that we have one commitment, and this we would like always to provide you with also, and to tell you about. We are dedicated to the fundamental values of openness and the liberal world order. That sounds very pathetic, but it's true. And that's the only sentence I repeat every year. We are dedicated to the fundamental values of openness and the liberal world order. And last not least, I would like to mention your parents, all those who helped you through these years, your relatives, your friends, who supported you through your studies. And for 1 year at least, this included for many of you also members of our staff. They felt like family here, and I don't mention names here, but I think it was necessary to do what is necessary in such a situation. Some of you enjoyed the time with us at the DA so much that you will stay for another year. So welcome to those who will continue the studies here in the second year of the MAIS program. Very good choice. I hope you had an interesting, rewarding, productive, and enjoyable academic year in spite of everything. We are proud of you, this diverse group of 25 talented and passionate young people. You will leave here as DA alumni, but I hope you will stay in our international community. It's our goal to stay closely connected, because this is not about 1 year of learning. It's not about knowledge that you can have in all the academic fields alone. It is about what can we contribute to the change, into the better of this world, or at least around those who you have an influence on. So that's the challenge I pose for you. Go into the world as a responsible and active citizen in this ever-changing world. Some of you, hopefully, will become diplomats in the Austrian Foreign Service. I know that some of you will go for the l'examen préalable whenever the next one will take place. So, you worked hard for this moment, enjoy this ceremony, and because it's such a special situation, I would like to close with a word by a Polish satirical writer, Stanisław Jeździelec. I can recommend you should read anything that you can find by Stanisław Jeździelec. But the sentence I give you, because I feel it's something that we've been through in this year, is, I prefer the sign "no entrance" to the sign which says "no exit." It's always better. If you find a sign "no entrance," bad enough. But if you're in front of a sign "no exit," that's not good. And I have the feeling that, at the moment at least, there are not so many signs "no exit" anymore. I wish every one of you all the best for your future and congratulate you for graduating here at the Diplomatic Academy. Welcome. Thank you.
Dear students of the 57th promotion of the Diplom-Lehrgang, DLG. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, standing here and speaking to you in the great Festsaal of the Diplomatic Academy makes me a little bit nostalgic, because when I came here for the first time in the 1980s, this had just been renovated, had been the old ballroom of the Imperial Palace Favorita, and all the graduations of the DLG, and there was only the DLG in the last century, all the graduations of the DLG took place here. So I feel a little bit of nostalgia here. I also feel nostalgia because after an interval of 17 years, when I was mainly teaching MICE courses, I had the pleasure this year to teach the DLG again in the basics of economics and international economics. So I'm glad to see you now here face to face. During the year, I saw you at best face mask to face mask, or unmasked in Zoom most of the time. But at least at the beginning and at the end, we could meet in the flesh, as it were, and even do some social activities together, have a graduation, and as the director has mentioned, you could go to the foreign ministry to get a kind of parting shot in the arm to strengthen you against COVID if you wanted. Now, COVID, of course, was, as we have seen, the central theme in a way of this year, and it was a massive challenge, in particular, a massive challenge for you, for the DLG. Because the DLG is not only our most traditional program, 270 years old, not like the youngsters, the mice, or the Etzia, even babies, but it's also our most ambitious program, because we try in 1 year to impart not only the basic principles of 4 very different academic disciplines, history, economics, political science, and law, but also an intensive language program, and hopefully also some practical diplomatic skills. So even a normal year, it means kind of hurrying from one lecture to another course and another course and another seminar. Now that, of course, is even more difficult if you do it via Zoom. So if you sit for the entire day, one Zoom lecture after the other Zoom course, and I guess, economically speaking, that the marginal utility of some Zoom courses towards the end of the day must have been pretty low. But the great story is that you managed it, as we have heard, and I can attest that you managed it rather brilliantly. I mean, our Zoom sessions were very interactive, just like a normal lecture, and I was quite impressed also reading your papers. I've graded the international economics exam, everybody passed, and the results were very good. There were no quarters because of COVID, so I'm really impressed how you managed this difficult situation and how you achieved your all academic aims, at least in my course, and I have been at a few final presentations, and one of them was the best that I ever had at the Diplomatic Academy, so really you can be proud of your academic achievements. And as we have heard, COVID also had some advantages, so you learned persistence, and you proved that you can do that, and adaptability, heard that too. And you also learned to use digital resources extensively. Moodle, Zoom, digital libraries, and so on. I think all these things will come in very useful later in your professional career, but also in your life more generally. Now, some of you are going to stay on to do the MICE, but the others will start their career, probably an international career, for which you are very well prepared and I think very well suited. And I'm confident that these careers will not only be personally very rewarding, hopefully also financially rewarding, but that you will also be able to contribute to what we heard, the public good, or as we economists say, that you will generate positive externalities. to society. So all that remains is to, again, congratulate you on your academic achievements here and to wish you all the very best for the future. Thank you.
Bojana Adamovic, Austria, Serbia. Oliver Edward George Adcock, UK. Sophie Arzberger, Austria. Antonia Yvonne Bobik, Austria. Emmanuel Favre, Switzerland. Alexa Filipovic, Serbia. Yannick Galeazzi, France, Austria, Seychelles. Carmen Hagen, Austria. Philipp Panik, Austria, Switzerland. David Jaric, Austria. Maka Kipiani, Austria. Sophie Kokas, Austria-Hungary. Leander Eskin-Kreiger, Austria. Madeleine Leitsberger, Austria. Marina Mayer, Russian Federation. Mathieu Olivier Mballa, Cameroon. Osman, Egypt. Bernadette Bettina Pointel, Austria. Ekaterina Poletaeva, Russian Federation. Andreas Prischl, Austria. Franziska Salm-Reiferscheid, Austria. Hanna Theresa Seidel, Austria. Katharina Strobel, Austria. Boris Stuli, Ukraine. Klara Wuketich, Austria.
Excellency, Minister Plenipotentiary Kappa-Schlesinger, faculty, administration, dear fellow students, families and friends. Let me first of all express how honored we feel to deliver this valedictorian speech today. And I say we because I did not write it alone. As Andreas and I received an equal number of votes for who would deliver the speech. Indeed, Andreas, Klara and I together decided on the content of both Klara's parts and mine. So Andreas, if you just would get up for a second, please. Get up for a second. So as you hear me speak those words, please also hear Andreas's voice in the back of your head. It was a year unlike any other. We experienced the second wave of the pandemic, 2 lockdowns, almost a full year of distance learning, and sadly so, even a terrorist attack in Vienna. Yet, despite of it all, we also shared so many positive moments, for which, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of all of us, we are eternally grateful. However, let's not forget that all these positive memories could not have been made without the tireless efforts of so many people. Hence, we would like to use this opportunity to thank those who made them happen. Thank you, Director Brix and Deputy Director Kepler-Schlesinger, for always having an open door and listening to our needs. And we can't stress enough how thankful we are that you successfully negotiated the students' inclusion in the vaccination program. Furthermore, Jenny, we cannot put into words how deeply grateful we are. All your hard work, even late into the night, did not go unnoticed. You carried the weight of this whole program on your shoulders. You carried us. This gratitude, of course, extends to your entire team, including the tireless Ms. Winkler. Thank you also, Andreas Ehrmann and Katharina Dück, for the hugely helpful career services. Thorsten and Heinrich Geisbauer, you were the backbone of the most vital services this year, the digital services, and you put in countless hours at the most impossible times to keep them running. All the administrative staff, like Wolfgang Jung and Hubert Nettig, who ensured the smooth running of operations. And all the professors who had to deal with us and our incessant questions. And finally, the graduation today is not just about us, but also those who supported us throughout this whole process. To our families and friends, we thank you. Today is a day for celebrating our achievements, our diversity, and our community. It is a celebration of our team of lawyers, Sophie, Bernadette, Emmanuel, David, Leander, and Marina, who will soon rewrite the UN Charter. It is a celebration of our late-night study club, Franziska, Nada, Boris, and Mathieu, who showed immense dedication and resilience this year. It is a celebration of our good souls, Carmen, Bojana, and I would add Andreas to this list, who were always happy to share notes and advice. It is a celebration of our language wizard, tutor, and dragoman, Katrina, of our stylish ones, Yannick, Phil, Antonia, and Marie, of the witty and the bubbly ones, Alexa, Hannah, Ollie, and Katja. And finally, it is a celebration of Sophie and Klara, our course speakers, our lionesses, who worked so hard and fought so hard for us. We could not have wished for anyone better to defend our interests and lead our cohort, always with open ears and an open heart, for whatever we needed. Indeed, it was you who weathered all our storms. Everyone, please give them a big round of applause. And although we have put you into these groups, the truth is each and every one of you made individual contributions to this year and helped to build lasting memories. Memories of an angry farmer's speech, a certain someone falling asleep in a Zoom class, turned off cameras for the purpose of baking pastries, someone joining the Zoom class from a different corner of the world every week. Memories of random soft toys appearing on the screen during breaks. The time we thought someone threw her cat out of the window. Someone interrupting the teacher with the familiar words, "Hold on a second, I beg to differ." Memories of bending into unusual shapes and postures during yoga classes. And we're still waiting on that in-person yoga class in the DA garden, Bernadette. Let me conclude by saying that these will not have been the last memories we created. There is much more to discover together, but no longer as a study cohort, but as a group of friends. We will keep you and everyone here at the DA in our hearts, and we will leave here today knowing that we're all part of this community, that there will always be somebody to lend a helping hand, and that we will never truly be alone. Thank you.
If someone asks us what we actually learn here at the DA, well, we can certainly tell them quite a few things. For example, we now know the supply and demand of bow ties and whiskies. We also learned that the WTO does not function like a shootout at the movie High Noon, and that you can take the boy out of socialism, but you can't take socialism out of the boy. Oh, and let's not forget, indeed, an English picnic does entail lukewarm drinks and inedible snacks. That is true. And I think by now we all mastered the art of unmuting ourselves on Zoom. I think we all have learned that here, everyone in this room. But all jokes aside, dear family and friends, dear faculty, rest assured we also made the most of the DA as a learning environment. We have exchanged in discussions and ideas with some very fine scholars and professionals from the field of international relations and diplomacy. With this chapter closing, the next one begins. As Ambassador Brix has pointed out, some of us are to continue with the MICE program, and some of us are ready to embark on a career path. We are now enriched with knowledge and experience, regardless of the year, and no doubt exciting opportunities await us. That said, certainly it will not always be a smooth ride, and bumps and bruises are part of the deal. So at this point, let me come back to the name bearer of our cohort, Katalin Karikó, as Ambassador Brix has already mentioned, but I really want to touch on her story once again, as she's so emblematic of the situation we are facing and from what we can learn from her. She left communist Hungary in the 1980s with nothing but her family and 900 pounds stuffed into a teddy bear to embark on an academic career in the USA. In 1989, she discovered the power of mRNA as a revolutionary technology. But she spent the 1990s collecting nothing but rejections. It was only in 2005 that she managed her first breakthrough. And indeed, it took a pandemic to reap the fruits of her labor, when the mRNA technology, as you now all know, made it as a key ingredient into the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccine. So yes, it is thanks to her that we can be here today to celebrate this very special occasion. Of course, she sets very high standards for how you can make a difference, no doubt. But she teaches us a very valuable lesson, and that is that there is no shortcut to achievement. And the path of success is marked by challenges and, yes, rejections. But if you stand up, no matter how hard and how often you fall, you will make the world a better place by your actions and by your presence. Call it perseverance, resilience, or grit. These all form a very good starting point to brave any challenge. And I can safely say that each and every one of you has demonstrated these abilities and skills this year. Everyone here is different. Some of us are visionaries, some of us are dreamers, some of us are leaders, and some of us are complete wild cards. What matters is that you go out into this world and show what you're capable of. This is the call to action that I'm finished with. Thank you. You can clap now. Yes. Okay, I wasn't quite done yet. I tricked you. I have we have two special people to honor in this group. One of them is Madelaine. Yes, you, dear Madelaine. In the name of the entire cohort, we want to thank you for everything you have done this year, especially for making exam week and exam stress much more bearable. With your immense contribution, with your study groups, just being there all the time, asking the right questions, always knowing the answer. You have demonstrated leadership skills and team spirit. As such, if we had an award for the most valuable player, it would definitely go to you, Madelaine. But we did get you something else. Sophie, please come up to commemorate your role for our cohort. Thank you. Yes. And now I will pass on the word to our course speaker, Sophie. Sophie, please come up. She also has a few words to say.
Excellency, my Minister Plenipotentiary, dear faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and most important of all today, dear friends and dearest colleagues. While we were stressing out about exams, about writing papers, about which presentations to finish and which readings still to do late at night, I'm pretty sure that our parents, our loved ones, our friends were more worried about our health and our well-being this special year. Because of you, Carmen, they didn't have to worry. Because you were here and you offered all your medical expertise to the DA, you advised them in regulations, in the COVID working group, and you made sure that we were safe, spending countless hours each Tuesday evening testing us and making sure that everyone is safe in this very special year. Ambassador Brix has already called you the trailblazer, the lifeline of the DA this year. Phil said that you are our guardian angel, and Ollie said that you are his favorite person to swab the nose. So with this, I'd like to say that you are our hero, you are the DA hero, and if there is one thing that heroes deserve, it's medals. Can you please come up?
I don't know what to say, so I don't know if I deserve this actually.
Yes, you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Thank you very much for the trust, dear faculty. I just did what every other doctor would have done in this situation in the middle of a pandemic. I did a very minor contribution to this family, as you called it, and I have to say thank you. Thank you very much.
It's my task now to finish the official part and to tell you that you heard music by the string quartet of the Orchestra of the University of Vienna. Give them a round of applause, please. I have to say I enjoyed very much what you, the students, and your representatives said here. Much more important than what I said or the faculty said. At the beginning, you may remember at the inauguration, I said, let the games begin. And that is true, even at the end, at this graduation ceremony. Let the games begin. Thank you.